Now, I never thought I'd be making a follow-up video to last week's Drew Harrison debacle, where that ridiculous woman calling herself a she/her on social media decided to mock the death of Charlie Kirk. And she works for PlayStation. She worked on the first iteration of Ghost of Tsushima, which, you know, had a male protagonist, but unfortunately voiced by a very woke Japanese actor. And now the follow-up is Ghost of Yotei, which stars another woke activist, this time a female called Erika Ishii. Now, while she has been, for the most part, radio silent about last week's events, it just seems that for some reason now, it gets even more weirder from Sony and PlayStation themselves, who 18 hours ago, as of the making of this video, released a brand new Ghost of Yotei trailer called 1,000 Blades. And guess what? It's uploaded everywhere except X. X stands for sex, if you kind of look at it in a very roundabout kind of way. But the reason why, because it's to deflect backlash. Of course it is. So if you go to Blue Sky Socials, it doesn't get so much flack there, but I do beg to differ. But anyway, we're going to have a look at this article quickly from that part place. Also react to the trailer, which I've not seen, but I can tell you already, it looks like absolute garbage.
Watch this space.
The next half hour.
She brings you.
So look at this article here from Game Rant, folks. Ghost of Yotei jumps to the very top of the PlayStation pre-order fart chart, written by Brody Shirley. And if you want to see what this buffoon looks like, here she is. Nobody that I know is excited or even talks lyrically and enthusiastically about Ghost of Yotei. People are keeping radio silent about it. Even people like Actman, who I guess can't wait to play this game and give it a 2 thumbs up because that's the kind of idiot he is. I've seen nobody just really even trying to shift this game back into the YouTube algorithm just to get it spoken about. People are definitely stepping away from this title. When Endymion called out the trailer last year for being another female girl boss, I know I like to say that because we know it's a girl, but then again, if you look at Erika Ishii, I might even have to question that statement and question all over again. But quite honestly, nobody gives 2 shits about this game, and it makes you wonder why that they chose to go on Blue Sky Socials instead of X to be the people with a backbone. But we know it's Sony, folks. We know they lack integrity or a backbone these days. After that Drew Harrison debacle last week, we just want to sweep it under the rug, forget it ever happened, but please, 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 please buy our game. And guess what, PlayStation? Guess what, Sony? Nobody's buying your dog shit sequel game. Nobody is, because if someone like Drew Harrison, who worked on the game, openly advocates for the deletion of Charlie Kirk, then she deserves no sympathy from me, none from you. Probably a handful of people will buy this game out of loyalty or they like the first one, but really it's too late in the day, bros, and you're gonna have one of the biggest catastrophic failures of all time, and it absolutely serves you right. All they're gonna rely on now is the good faith of other YouTubers out there with 1 million+ subs who have to plug this game because the YouTube manager told them to do that. That's the optics of how this thing is going to play out. Obviously, it would have been more interesting if this game was coming out day 1 on PC as well, because then you could really see the numbers on SteamDB compared to the so-called pre-orders. It's so funny about pre-orders, right? That, you know, we just hear that pre-orders are good, but we don't have the exact data to confirm how many people are lining up to buy this game on day 1. Amazon, again, will be a good source of knowledge, but we don't know what their pre-order numbers are for. Even if the pre-orders are very good for Ghost of Yotei, I guarantee you when people play it, they'll probably go to CEX, get a £50 cashback on it, or vouchers worth more than that. That's how CEX works. And so you're going to see a fuck ton of those being taken to a secondhand store or pre-owned game shop just to get the refund. But again, this is the person responsible. Bite me, says Drew, who apparently is drawing lines now on a piece of paper at home because she done effed up her career. Good, Serbs are right. You get no sympathy whatsoever. People like Alyssa Mercante, who is a very, very hard left-leaning person. Again, folks, just to remind you, the left side of thinking are the worst side of thinking because they're the more violent and prone side than the conservatives. Hence why the conservatives, they actually deal with things with words instead of bombs and bullets. But that's another story for another day, folks. When it comes to the current political climate, I mean, it's so strange that you can't look forward to a video game, right, without bringing politics into it, which is such an absurd notion to me. And is Sucker Punch trying to hide everything? Of course they are. And let's have a look at the trailer quickly, folks. I've not actually seen this, but I've seen it's absolutely cringe. Man, you can't hide the dislikes here, can you? 32,000 dislikes compared to 15,000 upvotes. It's pretty pathetic, actually. I wrote here, well, I was watching Sydney Sweeney's cleavage and then this popped up. Unlike the lovely cleavage of Sydney Sweeney, which wouldn't stop popping up. I mean, this guy looks cool. Yeah, and that's where the game should have ended. She doesn't speak much, does she? And she's ugly as sin. He's asking the same question I'm asking. Is that a man or a woman? Yeah, Wolf, you should bite her, not the bad guys. Ugh. I'm a dude dressed as a dude, disguised as another dude. How much time have we got left on this? Gosh, it can't go fast enough, can it? Holy hell, man. This is the most vapid gameplay trailer I have ever seen. Honestly, if you watch the Titanfall trailers back from the day, they elicited a lot more excitement, didn't they? More enthusiasm. But this is how far we have come, folks. This is how far the apple has fallen from the tree when it comes to video games and the stupid companies that expect us to buy them. When instead you can be like me and buy physical media, sit at home, watch it, get enjoyment, maybe buy the old school video games instead of this trash right here. But honestly, folks, I'm kind of done with this nonsense. I'd like to see the world burn at the moment for all the right and wrong reasons. And when it comes to video gaming, again, and I've said it before in a previous video, Japan, China, South Korea, those are your three mainstays of entertainment right now, folks. Forget what the West is offering. In fact, I see a lot of comments now on social media where British people want to leave the UK for good because we have the most hideous government ever, and I don't care who takes over after this buffoon called Keir Starmer is forced to resign, because they will be just as bad as the previous governments before them. But on that one, ladies and gentlemen, be like Sydney Sweeney and heave your chests in protest, and I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video.